Hello and welcome. You're listening to Village Mama, a podcast that inspires us moms to pause in the midst of our busyness, to connect with each other, and to know that we are not alone on this parenting journey. My name is Char Lekx, and I'm a transformation coach and mom of two, and I create e-courses for busy moms to help guide them on their journey of self-discovery. Each week, I'm sitting down with moms to talk about their journey of parenting and the lessons that they have learned. I want you to consider this your community. I want you to consider us your tribe. Come on in and relax a bit because you are always welcomed in the Village Mama. Hey mamas, I hope that you're all doing well. Today we're here to talk a little bit about the Enneagram. And so you might be wondering, what is the Enneagram? Well, it's an ancient personality growth tool, and it's a growth tool for self-awareness and personal discovery. And it really helps us to observe ourselves a little bit more clearly and honestly. And it shows us 9 different strategies that we use to relate to ourselves, to others, and to the world. So why is this helpful? Well, it's said that as young children, to protect ourselves from hurts and losses and pain and rejection, or to just cope or feel safe, we instinctively put on a mask called personality over our authentic self. But as we grow older, our personality can become so fused to us that we can't even see our true essence. And then this becomes a limitation to us. Now, it's often difficult to know where to begin to rediscover and to find our authentic selves. But that's where resources like the Enneagram comes in really handy. So who is this for? I would say that this is for parents who are interested in taking a really honest look about how they're showing up as they're parenting their kids. Now, I want to start off by saying that it's not always easy hearing these things about ourselves, So I really want you to offer yourself, as you're hearing it and as you're discovering a little bit more about yourself, please, please, please offer yourself compassion and grace, and know that the beauty of this resource is that it gives you directions to go in so that you can actually show up for your family in a healthier and a happier way. So let's dive right in. So there are 3 centers of intelligence: the body or gut center, the heart or feeling center, and the head or the thinking center. And for people in the body center, their unconscious emotional response is anger. For the people in the heart center, their unconscious emotional response is shame. And those within the head center, their unconscious emotional response is one of fear or anxiety. Now, why I like to group this conversation around the centers of intelligence is because for some people, it's really hard to land on their specific type, but they can still start their journey by being able to identify which of the 3 instinctual triads feels most comfortable for them. So as we begin, I want you to think about this process of discovering your type as if you were trying on a coat. I want you to put it on. I want you to wriggle around a bit. I want you to see which of the 9 coats might fit you best. Now, here's the thing. Some of the coats might feel a little bit too tight and restrictive. Some might feel a little bit too bright and flashy and colorful for you. Some might feel too loose or baggy. And yet others might seem a little bit too fashion forward or avant-garde for your liking. At the end of this journey, you might end up with 2 coats that seem like they fit you rather better than the others. And your challenge then is to keep trying on those 2 coats to see which one ultimately feels a little bit more like you. Now, most of the coats that we buy today, it's off the rack. It's not going to be a perfect fit. So we're really going for the fit that feels most authentically like something you'd put on. You know, like when you're running on autopilot and you're really not thinking about things too much. You know, you're just pulling something out of the closet that feels comfortable for you and putting on. That's what we're going for. Which type feels like that? Like something you just pull on and wear because it feels comfortable. So in this episode, I'll be covering information about the 3 types in the head center of intelligence. We're going to be looking at how you may be showing up in your parenting journey, the unconscious childhood message that you may have received and internalized as a child, and the message that you may need to hear now to begin your journey of healing and your journey towards good health and wholeness. So let's begin with type 5s. So generally speaking, type 5s are perceptive investigators and they're quite cerebral. You tend to withdraw from the world to try and figure things out. You don't feel like you know enough. However, you're here to teach those that you encounter about the importance of clarity and illumination. And you need to be able to do that through the reliance on your gifts of objective observation and dedication to the truth. I want to call you to be careful to not stand on the sidelines of life and think that you can understand everything by simply observing. Your challenge is to learn to use your body and to learn to feel your feelings and engage in connections and share your talents and make contact with the world through your emotions and your actions. So the lesson that type 5s internalized as a child is that it's not okay to be comfortable in the world. But now that you're an adult and you can start your own journey of healing, you can do so by adopting this mantra or affirmation and keep reminding yourself that your needs are not a problem. Now, in terms of parenting, you are so great at passing on lots of interesting information to your kids. And in addition to that, if they're interested in an activity, you are the parent who's going to research and find the best options out there for them to learn and grow. But something to be mindful of is that when you begin researching a topic that's of interest to you, it'll be like going down a rabbit hole, and your kids will experience you as absent even when you're physically in the same space as them. So just be aware of that. So a mindful parenting tip, if you believe that you might be leading from a type 5, is to try and be present with your kids more. Get outside and do something physical and fun with them. Find out what their interests are, whether it's skating or laser tag, and then go out and just do it with them. Let them see how funny and quirky and active and energetic you can be if you put your mind to it. If you need to research the activity first so you can pass on some choice tidbits of information to them, then that's great. You do you. But the important thing is to get out there with your kids and do something physical or active with them and have lots of fun. Now moving on to type 6s. Generally speaking, type 6 people are engaging and responsible and dutiful, and they want to feel safe and secure, and they want a reliable source of support and guidance. And you are here to teach those that you encounter about the importance of awakeness. You are such a troubleshooter, and you tend to be prepared, and you like to respond fast to crises. I want to call you, though, to be careful not to ignore your own inner wisdom, because you don't want to get trapped on a hamster wheel of anxiety and spend your life looking for sources of security outside of yourself. You have knowledge, you have inner knowledge, you have inner knowing. And it's important to start to tap into that, to be aware of that, to observe that within yourself and be led by that. Learn to try and manage your fears and anxieties by developing practices that quiet the mind and allows your own inner guidance and wisdom to come to the forefront. So the lesson that type 6s internalized as a child is that it's not okay to trust yourself. But now that you're an adult, you can start your journey of healing by adopting this mantra or affirmation and keep reminding yourself that you are safe. Now, in terms of parenting, you can be warm and engaging and nurturing, and you're willing to be attuned to your kids' needs, and you can see things from their perspective. But be aware that you may have some difficulties setting firm boundaries with your kids. And since you worry about things like your kids getting hurt, you can either be overprotective or overly cautious with them. Or you can think that it's important for your kids to face their fears and push them a little bit too hard to do so. So either of these stances can create worry or rebellion in your kids. So just be aware of this as you try to find your balance here and you try to be aware of and manage your own anxiety and your own fears. A mindful parenting tip is to let go of your fears where your kids are concerned. And I know that that's just, it feels impossible, doesn't it? I think every parent, regardless of their type, feels a lot of fear for their kids. But I would say even so for 6s. But it's important to note that your anxieties, your worries, your fears could be limiting your kids' view of the world and making the world seem like a scary place where no one but you and a handful of others can be trusted. So the gift that you can give your kids is to let them see you step out in faith and do things outside of your comfort zone, and cheer your kids on when they do things like that too. You can also listen to them. If they're leading from a type 6, listen to them. Allow them to share their concerns and their worries and their fears with you. Share your stories where you felt afraid and you felt anxious, and let them know how you came through it, and encourage them so they know that they can come through it too. I want to challenge you to sit back a bit and let your kids explore, discover, be creative, and branch out from you a little bit more. And I want to call you to celebrate their courage and independence as they're trusting their gut, as they're learning how to trust themselves. Allow them to be a role model for you. Let's talk about type 7s. Generally speaking, type 7s are spontaneous, assertive, and versatile. You want to feel satisfied, content, secure in the knowledge that you will be taken care of. And so what are type 7s here to teach the rest of us? They're here to teach the people that they encounter about the importance of joy and freedom. And those are great things, but be careful not to lose touch with the present in your desire to escape into the anticipation of the future. Try to rein in your tendency to jump from one thing to another, and try to find joy in the moment. Challenge yourself to stay present and stick through the mundane and hard parts, because amazing things are happening in the now too. The lesson that type 7s internalized as a child is that it's not okay to depend on anyone for anything. But hun, now that you're an adult, you can start your own journey of healing by adopting this mantra or affirmation and keep reminding yourself that you will be taken care of. Now, in terms of parenting, you create experiences that are fun and adventurous and exciting for your kids. Every day holds the possibility for something fantastic to happen, and your kids get to be a part of the buzz that you generate of things to do and people to see and life to experience. But something to be mindful of. is that some kids enjoy feeling settled and thrive more with a routine. So I want you to try and tune into your kids' wants and tune into your kids' needs and try to create some balance and consistency for your kids who might need this. A mindful parenting tip is to try and slow down the ride of life enough so you can tune into what's happening with your kids. Really try to attune yourself to them. Because when you're present with your kids, you're able to observe the full range of their emotions and celebrate with them when they're happy and try to walk with them and hold space for them when they're going through challenging times. Saying no to so many different events and playdates and activities could be good for you and allow you to form a deeper connection with your kids. Things like cuddling in bed or playing a board game with your child will create space for them to open up to you, to share what they're feeling, and for you to meet them where they're at and be available and present to them and meet them emotionally in the joys and the sorrows. This will be so important to your bond, and it also will create precious moments for you and your children. Well, this has been a quick look at the 3 types in the Head Center. Type 5s, Type 6, and Type 7s. Sadly for me, it's the end of our 3-part series, but I'm going to say this again so I can help it land home for you. Now, these type descriptions are not meant to try and place you in a box, but instead, they're actually here to help you discover the place that you're leading from when you are running on autopilot. So here's the thing. Parenting is not easy, but understanding ourselves, seeing how we're showing up to our family in a clear way is so important to making shifts that can be instrumental in the overall health and well-being of our entire family unit. This is important personal growth work that we are privileged to do on our own roads of self-discovery and transformation. And I'm so happy for you to be taking this very significant step. You've now reached the end of another episode of Village Mama. If you're enjoying it, I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes, and also give it a 5-star review on iTunes. It's very much appreciated, thank you. So until next time, keep treating yourself and others with compassion and grace. Take care.